Morning everyone, it's Wednesday 14th February 2024 and I'm off for my morning run. It's about 20 past 6 and the sun's only just risen. Not going to film all of the run, just a few short sections, so I'll get back to you in a short while. Well, I reached the first filming point on this run, which is the Marsden Bridge here over the Wollondilly River. Marsden, there's a bloke named James Marsden who apparently was a local grazier and identity. This bridge, I suspect, was built in the early 1970s. You can see it's pretty high above the water line, or above the riverbed, because the riverbed is quite wide here, and so it needs to be high enough to avoid the bridge being closed for flooding. There was a bridge before this that I suspect was lower down, and this one obviously was built to replace it and improve traffic access times of heavy rainfall. At a guess, I'd say it's about 100 metres long, give or take. I just stop for a minute here and give you a different view of the bridge. Hopefully you can see it's supported by the concrete pylons down there. I'm coming up on the second of two bridges over the Wollondilly. This one's called Victoria Street Bridge. As I look at it now, Victoria Street is on the right, and as you cross the bridge, the road changes the name to McDermott Drive. McDermott was a bloke, Ernie McDermott, who was the mayor of Goulburn, and among other things, he's given credit for having turned the old disused Teachers College, which is up on the left here and we'll go past shortly, into what was then the New South Wales Police Academy, and now the School of Policing. Now you can see the bridge is quite high above the water line, and maybe you can see on the pylons there's a marker to how high the water can get. About 11 metres, I think. I don't know if the water has ever got that high, but you plan for the worst case scenario when you do these things and hope for the best. This is another just concrete pylon bridge. Work started on this in 1971. I imagine it was opened that year or the following year. In fact, Victoria Street Bridge works, says something on here about, opened on 14th of March 1970, so couldn't have started in 1971. It started in 1970, opened in 1970. At a guess, I'd say it's about 80 metres long, give or take a little bit. single lane each way. I imagine that there was another bridge earlier, would have been lower down. This one built to replace it and avoid the road closed because of flooding. It also have been a factor in the development of all this area with an improved transport link for people who wanted to live out here and get into town for work. The high school, which is up the top of the hill here, opened in the 70s, I think, and the primary school out at Bradfordville, which is beyond here, about another K and a bit, also opened in the 70s. I'm coming up on the third of the bridges that crosses the Wollondilly. This bridge is called the Kenmore Bridge because this area, as well as being known as the suburb of Bradfordville, is known as Kenmore. I'm not sure if the Kenmore was here before the psychiatric hospital that's been closed for several decades, or the area got the name because of the hospital. This is the third bridge over the Wollondilly. As you might be able to see from the sign, the Wollondilly flows into Warragamba, which is Sydney's major water supply. And I guess I'd say this is about 100 metres long, give or take a little bit. 2 lanes, single lane either way. A concrete deck and concrete pylons to support it are very similar in design to the other two. I suppose there were cost, geomorphology and other issues like that to be considered when designing the bridge and building it, and the architects, the builders, weren't creating an icon. They were just creating, like the Harbour Bridge or something, they were just creating something functional. There's a plaque here that says this bridge opened in 1982. This is not a bridge over the Wollondilly, it's a bridge over a stormwater channel that flows into the Mulwaree River, which is down here. For some reason access is blocked at both ends, and the bridge has become unsafe or scheduled for replacement or something. It wasn't one of the bridges I was going to film, but I'm here now and I've got to turn around and go back the way I've just come in order to continue to my run. I've run across this bridge many times, and when you get to this end of it, it becomes, you can feel it swaying quite a lot under your feet. So I don't know if the bridge has become unstable and it's going to be replaced or what the story is, but anyway, its track's closed off, so I've got to turn around and go another way. Just coming up on the fourth of the bridges. This is a bridge over the Mulwaree River rather than the Wollondilly or the other three. It has a couple of names, but for me it's called the Lansdowne Bridge because the Lansdowne estate that used to be up on the left there, a big pastoral property. There was a wooden bridge here about 100 odd years, and which to the left of this bridge, it was decided that it had become unsafe and that the cost of replacing it or repairing it to make it safe would be greater than the cost of building a new one. So the old bridge was pulled down and this one built. This is 82.3 metres long. It cost 18.6
million to build, and it opened in 2019. My recollection is that the Bungonia Road, which is this road here, was closed for something like 3 years all up, while it was first determined the existing bridge was unsafe and the road had to be closed. And then there was inevitable pre-design surveys and so forth, and then money had to be found, and of course the bridge had to be built. There are some interpretive panels along here that tell you about the Goulburn Brewery, which is directly ahead, the Lansdowne Estate, and the history of First Nations people around this area. Well, I'm 13.5 kilometres from home from where I started, and I have about 2.5 to 3 to go. There's a bridge over the railway line coming up, but I won't be filming that. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the Four Bridges tour in 24, and if I remember, I'll include a screenshot of the route when I upload the footage so that you can see the entire run and where I've been. Thank you for watching. Comments and feedback are most welcome, and when I become aware of them, I will reply.